And you can just let me know, like, if are you like you nervous to do this?
Not really, no. I'm just nervous about like when you ask the question, I don't want to like answer too late because I don't know if there's like a lag or anything.
I mean,
I don't
even
want to take it too. So that's all.
yeah, even if there's a lag, we'll make it work. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today it's a little bit different. This is my first ever, I guess you would say, podcast. Not streaming though. We got a regular phone call right now with Mike Shimak. This is been anticipated for a good while now, and I'm super hyped to have the homie on the chat. I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How you been?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing good, living the dream. Quarantined over here. How about yourself?
Yep. Just hanging with the fam. Just trying to stay positive, keeping all that negativity away as much as possible.
What are you doing right now to quarantine yourself from what's going on in today's world? I mean, it's just absolutely insane what's going on right now. And my question is like, how has that affected your job as a realtor? Is the is the housing market kind of fluctuated or changed in any way in the past couple weeks?
In the past couple of weeks, specifically, a lot of people have been canceling open houses and canceling showings. They don't want to really be meeting up with people that they don't know. But as of the sales and the investors in the market, there's still a lot of people wanting to buy properties to get people into rentals because they know that people may be struggling with money and they may need to downsize or reroute. So there's a lot of investors out there right now. But the first week of this or 2 weeks that we're going into right now is very slow, starting to get slow.
Do you find yourself not wanting to be around, like even wanting to do the open houses, or are you just kind of like living your life as if nothing has changed?
I think I'm being more precaution than most, honestly. I'm thinking to myself, I don't need to go out and be around people, and that's a blessing. So I'm using it to my advantage, and I'm working from home and doing as much as possible.
Hell yeah! Well, how much are you riding, man? You've been riding over the winter. I know we don't have the incline club anymore, which absolutely sucks. But the only park we have is Penn Skate, and if it's nice out, street. I mean, you still kicking it?
Yep, I still ride, but when I do ride, it's during the times that I'm not working, so I kind of treat it like the old school. Like, I don't want to film anything. I don't want to make it a chore. I just want to shred a little bit and then get my fix, and then I'm good to go. So I usually don't post much of what I do ride, like currently, but I'm still on the street life.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you're just trying to like just enjoy the moment and take it in as it is. Because what I've noticed with Instagram is it's definitely changed. I'd say in the past like 6 months to a year, it's changed in the perspective that like not many people are engaging with it, but not in the sense where like I care if my posts are getting likes. I'm saying I don't feel like I find a need to post as often to try to appease those people when they're not really there anymore. I feel like that those people are on YouTube now looking for inspiration, such as yourself.
Yeah, I could agree. I post less, but try to do more quality and get more through with that one post. I probably post maybe once a week now. I haven't posted in about 3 days, 4 days, just because I've been making sure like my family's good. I try to make sure they're happy. That's my
Absolutely.
goal.
Absolutely. I can definitely understand that because I sit here and a lot of people ask me, oh, why haven't you posted a video all week? But like, a lot of people don't understand. I don't really put my personal life out there, and I think you do the same. Like, you don't put your personal life out there because it's like that's something that you have as your own, and there's only so much you can give to your community. And with this whole YouTube thing, it's like people want more and more and more. But with this whole like quarantine thing going on, I got a lot to worry about. I mean, as you know, like I have a family, I have a wife and a daughter, and you have your own family as well, and those are your first priority. And that's why it's been so difficult for us to connect on a call like this because you had your own things going on your end, which we won't talk about here. But I'm glad everything's working out on your end.
Yeah, it's going great. Just trying to stay happy. I feel the weird part is I do look for the other people on YouTube who I watch to escape. So I'm low-key relying on a lot of other YouTubers to keep going.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, I don't want to post. And they're posting every day still, and I'm thinking like, wow, they're really like, they're taking care of their family while vlogging it.
Yep.
And I'm over here like, I don't want to post today because I have to get this and this and this done, and they're doing all of that.
Yeah, do you think that they're...
look out for those people.
Yeah, do you think that they're like stockpiling up videos? Because I used to do that. I used to like film like 4 videos in a day, so I basically had a week's worth right off the rip. And I feel like some YouTubers are doing that, and I don't know. I feel like that's what it's like, leading people into the perception that they're filming through the whole quarantine type of thing.
Yeah. I couldn't tell. I wouldn't really know. They're kind of like hinting things about what's going on, but it seems like you said it's like a couple days ahead.
Yeah.
All their videos.
Yeah, so let's hop into a couple of these questions. So I got a bunch of different questions from people. I put out a community post for you guys to ask Shimak questions, or just hit us up with different topics you want us to talk about. And we've got a bunch of them here. And I feel like the most popular question, and we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off, the most popular question that not just Shimak, but myself get all the time is, are you still friends with Scotty Kramer and the crew? Why haven't we been in any videos? I'll let you answer first, Shimak.
Well, off the rip, 100%, we are all still friends. I would consider us family because we spent so much time and grew through so much together. But as of being on the channel and being like relevant with the YouTube and BMX, kind of as a whole for me, it was kind of a sense of like me growing, and my mentor at the time, my mentor Carl, he told me in order to get something that I want, that I've never had, I would have to give up something that I've loved and I've always had. So my main goal was to put BMX on the back burner, mostly because I didn't want to. Because right when I did that, I started to scramble. I didn't know how to like release my energy. I didn't know how to because BMX is the constant fall and get back up. So when I started to see like, wow, how am I progressing in other places other than BMX? I started to become very aware, and then it kind of turned into a year, and then 2 years, and then I was like so deep in learning all these other things that I realized I gave it up in a sense. I still rode like a week here I do 2 days, or the next week I do like 30 minutes. I'd still get it in, but the majority was like, now that I'm not biking, what am I progressing in?
Yep, and it's life. I mean, like, I feel like I can relate in that sense, because I feel like everything kind of happened all at once. Not just for, like, the channel, but the skate park closing. Like, it just was like a wildfire. Between Incline Club closing, that was, like, the main hub that we all just, like, grinded at and hang out, and it was a good time, and it just was a perfect hub for all of us to meet up and ride and make videos. And once the Incline Club closed, it was literally around the same time, like I would say maybe a month difference from when my daughter was born. And Shimak said it perfect. Like you hit a point where your focus that you put so much attention into riding turns into something else. It's crazy. We used to spend so much time at the Incline Club, and between the Incline Club closing and Scotty moving down to Florida and just all the stuff just happening like a crazy wildfire, my daughter was born right around that time. And that whole shift for me, I don't know how to explain it, but my whole life changed to where I thought that in the moment of riding, that's all it was. That's all that mattered to me. And I didn't think anything I would love as much, but it's you hear it from people all the time when they have kids, but you don't listen to it until you have a child. So my priorities were set differently, and I really wanted to focus with that. Not to say that we don't want to meet up with them or hang out with them. Maybe when they come up over the summer, we should definitely all get together and have a reunion,
For sure. And especially, like you said, with the Incline Club. The Incline Club is that place. I don't even think my home was as much as a home as that place was. for me because that was about a half a mile from where I grew up to where I still live right now. I would drive a half a mile right now, get to the skate park where I'd ride there when I was younger. So that was like 6 to 7 days a week for me. That was completely just like poof. And then I was in my room like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna release the energy? What I mean by release the energy, I mean, how am I gonna go focus on another goal that's irrelevant from everything else, so I could keep that life mentality, I could keep grinding, and then, like you said, implement it back into your regular life. That just disappeared. And on top of that, all of like the family and the groups of friends that we had linking up, that disappeared. So that was like everybody had to grow. Everybody was like let's figure out something new.
Yeah,
it's a problem when that was there for so long.
Yeah, and it's life. It's crazy. Like, what's crazy is I feel like when we all will reconnect here, it'll be like we never stopped hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of thing that happens. And one of the best bits of advice I ever got from a friend, my buddy Jeremiah Smith, he told me this when I first started like progressing in the industry as a rider and getting sponsors. He said, "Don't get stuck in that moment. It's a very, very small window." And you can use this quote for anything in life. Like you look at everything as like a stepping stone to the next point of your life and where you want to go. So like BMX would transition into some type of form of business, whether you want to be in the business of BMX or the business of being a realtor or having your own business elsewhere. You have a very small window. Life is short. It feels like it's long when you're pretty young, but as you get older and you really start to see your goals and they're in reach, but you got a lot of time that's behind you, you start to think like that window is closing and closing and closing. How much of me can fit through this? And you've got to get caught up in like holding on to something for too long. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to tell my friend Keith, which I want to do a call like this with my friend Keith. He's now transitioning into another portion of business, but he's one of those riders that is riding the wave and it's on its way to crashing. It's just fizzling away and he's holding on to it because that's all he's known for so many years, you know? And I feel like that's kind of like we both can relate to that. Not even saying like we're hanging on to riding, but like you said, you spent 6, 7, 8 hours a day riding and doing something like that continuously. That's all you know, and it's crazy. It's kind of scary to try to take that mentality and put it into something new, because you weren't scared when you first started riding, putting all that effort into riding. But were you fearful of that with being a realtor, or was it just natural?
I think, like, I can remember my first 18-inch that my parents bought me that I rode at Incline Club in the old street section, and I couldn't even lift up the back wheel. Like, I could lift up the front wheel, but I couldn't bunny hop. Like, zero. And I was like, this is Scotty's place. There's OGs in the back that could do flare whips, and I'm like, I can't even bunny hop. Yeah. So, like, I was, like, not scared, but, like, very
intimidated,
insecure.
Yeah.
I was insecure. Yeah, I was intimidated, and when I went into the real estate field, I was probably the same insecure, but times 2.
Wow.
Because I was a BMX rider who doesn't know anything about business or mortgages or insurance or contracts. Not even the psychological part of the sales where you have to interact with people. That was kind of natural. Shout out to the Incline Club and everybody there, because there was a lot of different people influencing us. But the real estate field humbled me tremendously because I thought I had it. I thought I was good. And then I got in my first year and I said, wow, like, this is not easy, and there is a reason why over 70% of people fail the exam their first time. And over 70% of the people who hold their license don't even use it.
Wow.
Because they can't. They don't have that, like you said, they never jumped on that stepping stone. They kind of just said, the window's shut, I'm going to try something else.
Yeah.
Whereas I was blessed in a position where my mother was there in real estate. So it's another thing working for your family to learn how to do that. But I had a great way in, and I committed, and I worked a lot of side jobs in between
Yeah.
to support myself.
I encourage that. Side hustle is definitely something I encourage people to do. Now, here's my question. Is your mother a main influence and probably one of your mentors through this whole process?
My number one mentor is my mother. She showed me so much. I have worked on countless deals with her in the past 3 years, and it's sometimes I need somebody to ask me a question just to like realize what I've learned, because she molded it into me as a mother and a boss.
That's awesome.
So even after work was done, even after the work day was over, that we were still conversing and touching on the day.
That's awesome. So we'll touch on a couple of these other little topics that are on here. Obviously, we got questions on here, but we also just have regular comments where people just kind of want to give you a shout out. People saying they missed the commissioner. You know, speaking of that, in real estate, do you have a nickname, or is it just Mike Shimak?
In real estate, it's Michael J. Shimak.
Oh, I thought it was the closer.
The closer.
Hell yeah! So we got a couple here. Let's see. Sorry, we got another one here. It says, "How is the housing market right now? My hubby is a realtor, and so far he's still pretty busy. We have a major seller's market right now. What are your thoughts?"
Completely agree. If you're a seller right now, it's your time to shine, because there are buyers out there. There are a lot of low interest rates out there, but there's a lot of investors out there. And all of these investors want to buy up and buy up and buy up everything so they can rent it out to the people who cannot buy. And that is a very common thing right now. There's a lot of sales due to investors buying out properties for rental, or there's a lot of sales due to people wanting to get their money into liquid form and then start renting. So it's weird. It's not weird, but that's how it is.
Here's a funny question, and let me know if you actually know the number. The commissioner, I can't wait. Somebody says, "How many houses have you sold since the last Scotty Kramer video?"
I can't physically count, but let's say since the last Scotty Kramer episode, oh my God, I can't even remember when. I would say in the past 2 years, myself, I'm on a team, by the way, called the Shimak Group, and it's owned by my mother, and we have 4 teammates on that team. I would say our team did 10, 15 million in sales in the past 2 years.
That's awesome.
Because I know last year alone I was up there in the 800 bracket.
Hell yeah.
And actually just 2 days ago, I closed, 3 days ago, I closed on a property for $254,000. And I had that offer signed for my buyer within 48 hours. And that property was listed for, I think, 2 days.
That's awesome. Here's a funny one. What would you rather fight? 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Who comes up with this stuff?
That's tough. I think I might have to go with 100 duck-sized horses, because that giant duck will be terrifying.
Me too. Yup. Somebody says they were thinking about becoming a realtor. Was it a hard process, and was the test hard?
The test was, for me, directly out of high school, I was in a position where I was I do not encourage this, and I I do not want other people to do this, but I was in a position where I was already slacking on my work. I was already kind of like, I'm done with it.
Yep.
So my test-taking, studying abilities were low right when I got into the course, because I took the course 2 weeks after I graduated high school. So it was the summer where everybody was partying, going away to college, all that, and I was sitting in a classroom learning about mortgages and insurance rates and all this stuff that I never saw before. So for me specifically, it was like super difficult. But for somebody who is familiar with, home mortgages or just owning a home in general, it's a lot different perspective.
Yeah.
But I think whether you think it's hard or not is definitely a perspective.
I agree. Here's one of the second to last statements or questions we're going to kind of go over. And this is a big one, as well as the last one's going to be a big one. But it says, in these current times, when it's hard to stay positive and hard to block out negativity, how do both of you push through to break the mental barrier and keep living a positive life? I mean, for Mike, I'm sure it's to read shitty comments. How do you not let it get to you? I miss seeing you and Shimak ride. Thanks again. Much love and respect from an old guy in Arizona. So what's your whole outtake on that?
Off the rip, much love to him as well. I appreciate the positive vibes. I am a big believer in you become what you think about most of the time. Whereas if you are fearful or scared of something and you keep telling yourself, I'm fearful and scared of this, and you repeat it before you go to sleep in your head or right after you wake up, you touch on it, you're just making it more and more relevant. Whereas when I find myself fearful or negative or I see too much negativity coming at me, I lie to myself. Straight up, I'm good. I'm going to be great. It's all going to work out in my favor. And I think I lied to myself to an extent where now I believe myself wholeheartedly, and I can't even accept the fact that I'm wrong, in my own head that is. I will just continue to tell myself, like, it's all going to work out in your favor. This is part of the process. Like you said, it's a vehicle to get me somewhere. If I'm getting hit with negativity, it's because I needed it, not because I'm a victim.
Yep. No, I can definitely agree with that for sure. When it comes down to that with me, it's like, I mean, I don't really care for the negative comments. So, like, when it comes down to negativity, it's like, as you get older, your circle of friends gets smaller and smaller. And you should try to weed out those people when you're younger anyway, because your focus and determination on yourself and bettering your life will actually accrue a lot faster than if you try to worry about what other people are thinking. And trust me, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's watching this right now, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who has fallen into worrying about what other people think about it. Because especially when you get around your idols or people that you like hang out with, people you like hang out with, and worrying about like fitting in and trying to hang out with them to where you try to stay with that whole motto. And you just got to get to that point where you just got to be you, because at the end of the day, if you're not being your true self, you're only hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not bettering yourself by lying about who you are and hanging out with other people and trying to put up that fake facade, because people will accept you for who you are, and the people who do are your true friends, and you'll stay connected with them. When it comes down to,
I can comment on that.
What'd you say?
I said, when you said that people can like trick themselves to fit in, I think it's because they're more comfortable doing that, because they're so uncomfortable facing their own insecurity.
Yep.
Because that is the scariest thing to do. And I used to be like 6th grade, 7th grade. There was a long period of time where I was like, I have no friends. Everybody else has friends. Like, I don't even have people that I can trust and hang out with. Now I love the fact that happened, because like you said, it was early in the process. That gave me a chance to face all the things I didn't like about myself. which led to the progression upward, which is like a home. Like, you can't build a home without digging out the earth, making the foundation, and then looking at it like, wow, that yard looks muddy. And then 1 year later, you got a beautiful home on it.
Exactly.
You know?
Like that's honestly like a perfect, that's a perfect way to explain it. That was perfect. Now when it comes down to like, my whole thing is like, I'd say now within the past like 7 or 8 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, but I only keep the people around me that that's basically, it's mutual. Like, they're bettering me and I'm bettering them. Like, if I'm not hyped on what you're doing, or you're not hyped on what I'm doing, I can't be around you. And I'm not saying that like to where I need somebody to like stroke your ego. I'm saying it where like, if I'm hyped, I'm like, even if it's something small, it's like my friend just got a new job, and it may not be the most paying job, but he's out there working his butt off and moving on to the next thing. I'm hyped on that. And I feel like it's got to be like kind of reciprocated in order for me to kind of keep those people around me. Because if you're not hyped on the people around you, you're just going to stay stagnant. So you got to surround yourself with the people that are just hyped on the next, portion of their life. And that's why I'm always talking to you, because like you're just like, you're a go-getter. We're both the same, just in different avenues of where we're at in life. And I think it's pretty awesome.
I completely agree. I see, like, you guys on YouTube and Instagram, and even yourself, don't see my immediate friend group, who I grew up with, who I went through these things with. I'm the guy in the group that criticizes. I'm going to tell you straight up, like, you are not smart for doing that.
Yep.
Or you are lessening your value by talking with that person. Like, I would never hold anything back, and my friends and my family love me for that, because I don't even like criticism that much myself, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I don't consider it negativity, but most people, I think, will consider criticism negativity because they're insecure and they never face those things about themselves.
Especially if they're looking.
Good. That's just how I am.
Yeah, especially if they're looking for that quick fix answer, like to make them feel good in that moment. To make them feel good in that moment. And when it comes down to it, it's like, I think that in itself is like a rare commodity where somebody just tells you how it is. And that's how I am. I'd never do it to put somebody down or to put them in a corner as if I'm bigger or higher in a totem pole than them. I'm like, listen, like, if you listen to what I'm saying, because maybe some people are seeing it from one picture, like when you're in like that mood, you have tunnel vision. Even if it's negativity, you have negativity tunnel vision. You're not letting anything in, the positive stuff. You got to let somebody pull you out and put you in that right area. And when it comes down to it, it's like that right there. I feel like I've gotten criticized for that because I speak my mind. I'm sure you do too. And people don't like it, but strong personalities are a rare thing. Some people are afraid to speak up and kind of say what's necessary. And I feel like you do the same thing, and your small circle probably appreciates you for it.
They always do. They sometimes get angry.
Hell yeah. All right, we're going to end on this one. So this is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones. I've been holding this one for last. It says, what are your goals and aspirations going forward in life, and do you apply them with the same drive as you did with riding, with reaching those new goals on and off the bike as well?
I just reminisce how long it took me to do a bar spin. And it took me like three years, give or take, just to land one. Because I kept taking my foot off. I would throw the bar spin, and I would take my foot. I was about 12 or 13 at the time at Incline Club every day, go in there every day trying to bar spin, and I would keep taking my foot off because I was scared if I kept both feet on, I would miss a hand and I would fly. I would fly back. That was my fear. So I definitely carried that into my life and my goals, because if you're afraid, it's fine as long as you keep trying, because that fear is going to get smaller, and then I'm just putting my foot on. One day I just said, I'm leaving my foot on. And I took that in the real estate, I took it with the real estate exam. I said, you know what, I failed it, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. So my goals and aspirations, you're going to think I'm crazy, but well, you won't. But some out there may think I'm crazy. My number one goal is to not work, but generate large amounts of income.
Awesome.
That's my main goal, is to sit back and collect money while I do what I want. That's my end goal. And my way of doing that is going to be commercially investing in real estate. I know it's going to be my way. If it isn't my way, and I never say the word if, but I'm going to make an exception. If it isn't my way, I know it's going to lead to the right way because it's just going to be that vehicle. But my major goal is to own commercial real estate. And honestly, I want to become a race car driver.
That's awesome. You gonna take on Ricky?
Believe it or not.
You gonna take on Ricky?
Ricky will be food. Ricky will be food in the future.
That'd be funny.
I got Ricky beat. No, I'm just kidding. I love Ricky, but I wanna like fund my own race cars. I want to drive my own race cars whenever I want. I want to have drift cars, and I want to do these things as I please, while continuing to make sure other people have beautiful real estate to stay in at a great rent cost, while I generate income and take all the throws at me.
No, I hear you. I mean, all that comes with work, and so a lot of people are listening to that are probably like, "Oh, he just wants to sit on his butt and collect money." But think about it. He's worked, and he's going to be working even harder in order to get to those points in his life.
If I was able to give up BMX for as long as I did and stop traveling to ride with the people I love and have so much fun with, if I was able to give that up just to learn I'd say low end, even though some are $500,000 to $1 million, I gave up that for low end real estate sales. I'm willing to give up so much more to get to that peak where I am able to buy that $10 million building that generates $300,000 a month in income. I'm willing to risk and do whatever, but I made sure I'm starting early because, like I know and you know, it's going to be a process that I'm committed to. It's long term. If I continue to tell myself, is it going to work out, or am I going to own that big of a building? I'm just going to talk it out of existence. So every day I tell myself it's going to happen. There's no way it cannot happen because I already believe it.
Yep.
And that's how I think.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's, like, a lot of people might think that's a foolish goal, but you don't achieve anything without goals. You know, you have to set those goals and those standards. And everybody's got those goals and standards. And when it comes down to it, it's like, I feel like that's the perfect area for you, and I feel like it was like your calling to begin with. You were just waiting to make that jump, and you made the jump at the right time, or the jump just happened and it pushed you out. Given the same time as the skate park closing, same thing. It was almost like it was a sign to kind of get you in the right direction. That's kind of where I'm at too as well. So you got any last inspirational thoughts or quotes, or even some insight on what's going on with you? You want to close out the video?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that if you're negative or you're fearful or you don't like where you're at, that is phenomenal, because at least that you're self-aware. You're self-aware of where you would like to be, or where, more importantly, where you don't want to be. And if you're negative, that's perfect, because now you know what you don't want, and now you know what to look for. So honestly, being happy and positive all the time, that's safe. That is safe. I go through negativity. A lot of other people look happy every day, cry, and have horrible things that go on through their mind. That's necessary. So when you're down and negative, just remember, that's great, because you're aware of it and you have the ability to change it.
Absolutely, that's a good way to end it.
That's my main thing.
Yeah, I mean that's something to live by right there. So I think everybody should take notes with that last statement for sure. Well, what I want to do while everybody's on here is this is my first one of these videos that I'm doing. I don't know what to call this series. I don't want to call it a podcast because it's a pre-recorded video type thing. But I want you guys to comment below on what you think I should call this series. And I will go with it. And whoever ends up coming up with the best comment, we'll name that series after their whole title. If you guys have any other suggestions for future videos or other people you want me to interview and talk topics with, put them in the comments below. Be sure to check out Shimak on his Instagram page. And Shimak, you using your YouTube at all or no?
I am such a slacker.
Hit him up on Instagram. That's where you're going to find him. Hit him up on Instagram. Let him know that you saw this and that you got a lot of positive energy from this video. Until next time, guys, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.